That night, I was the driver responsible for the fire truck and rescue vehicle. The shift seemed quiet until the radio broke the silence with a new call. The information came in fast. A head-on collision on the highway, a car and a truck involved. According to the caller, there could be victims trapped in the wreckage, as no one had been seen leaving the vehicle, and a fire had started in the vehicles. The location was about 15 kilometers away, but even so, I knew every second counted. The firefighter instinct took over. The pressure started to build, but I knew I had to stay calm. We turned on the sirens and left. The road ahead seemed longer than it actually was. The heat from the engine, the sound of the wheels, and the radio with updates were the only things accompanying us as we raced against time. When we arrived on the scene, the situation was much worse than we had imagined. The highway was already blocked in both directions by the police. The flames were enormous and spreading quickly. The fire in the vehicles was intense, almost blinding, with a glowing color that made it impossible to see anything other than the fire's brightness. I could feel the heat even inside the truck, and it was almost certain that there was no longer any chance of survival for anyone still trapped. Desperation started to set in, but our mission was clear. Control the flames and save what we could. Fighting the fire was tough. The flames seemed relentless, and to ensure the situation was under control, we had to call in a second water truck for support. The pressure was high, and time seemed to pass too quickly. Slowly, we managed to control the fire with the help of foam to smother it, but the intensity of the flames had destroyed almost everything. After much effort, the fire was finally extinguished, and it was time to check the situation. The police and the forensic team were on site, and we were called to perform the inspection. As firefighters, we're used to dealing with the damage caused by fire, but that night, something surprised us. On the charred body, apparently of a man, there was a Bible. The presence of that book, almost intact, with only the edges burned, was a shock. Given the heat of the flames, it seemed impossible for something to not be almost completely consumed. But there it was, with only a few pages slightly burned, as if it had been spared in some way. It was a strange sight and, in a way, difficult to explain. How could something survive such intense fire? We stood there, in silence, observing this curious fact. There was no rational explanation for what we saw. Some colleagues speculated that the driver might have intentionally driven into the truck to take his own life, and in his final moments, perhaps he grabbed the Bible and asked for forgiveness. I prefer to believe that he did not suffer, that he lost his life right when the collision happened, because the vehicle was almost entirely underneath the truck, in unimaginable destruction. Sometimes, as a firefighter, you come across situations that go beyond what is possible to understand. The Bible seemed, in some way, intact, as if it had been left there for a purpose. A presence of faith in the middle of the chaos. I hope the sacred book redeemed that man and freed him from the pain of the flames. That's what I prefer to believe. We returned to the station after everything, our minds full of questions. Nothing more was said about what we found, but the image of that book that resisted the fire stayed etched in my memory. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories of mysteries in real-life incidents. See you next time.